Well, game 2 is already live, so we're going to have to jump into that and cut the Phoenix analysis short for now. Ultrasim Stronghold is going to come up later. For now, it is Polar Knight. At the bottom of the map, we have Stardust, 0-1 in the best-of-5 series here at the second semifinal of the ASUS ROG 2014. And his opponent at the top of the map is, of course, San, we currently see on camera here. With the 1-0 lead, the victory in game number 1 on Frost. Well, and apparently our production has a bit of a problem here with the player showings. We're jumping from one player into another and back again. Okay, so apparently I was wrong. That could also have happened. I don't know.
I never have to do the intro, so I can't be wrong.
Well, I think I actually looked only at my screen, whereas Funko was showing someone completely different. So, being as it may, we have our second Protoss versus Protoss here in the best-of-5, and San so far in a 1-0 lead. Probably really happy about this since the last time he lost against his opponent without even taking a single map, so already a much better result for him here. And I feel that he's most likely taken quite some time to analyze what happened, what really went wrong for him the last time that he faced Stardust. But still, Stardust has shown us incredible PvP.
Yeah, it's a pity that we didn't see how the first series between them went, because I always like comparing how they are changing it up in the next series. But so far we're working with a blank sheet, so yep. No comparisons can be made. All right. Polar Knight. A good map for Stargate, a good map for Blink, and not such a good map for DT. So I am expecting Blink or Stargate from both of them.
I like especially if we have Blink versus Blink though. So something that is very micro-intensive in the early game is always really just interesting to observe. The one thing that I really don't enjoy in PvP is laser beams.
Laser beams?
Laser beams everywhere. The laser
10 Colossus each.
Exactly. The laser cats show themselves and we have Colossi everywhere, and the fight then just ends like after like basically they both have like 20 minutes where they just mess up their army and then you have the 5-second fight. It's not really all that enjoyable, but I love it when you have a very aggressive build. If someone really commits to a Blink Stalker build, for example, or really goes into that air battle that we were talking about earlier, that's quite really enjoyable to observe, just because there's so much micro involved that it's all about the unit control and all about the positioning that we talked about already earlier. It was the same kind of for quite some time when you really had those commitments in Wings of Liberty, and one player trying to get his expansion out and playing defensive, and the other one trying to commit to a very aggressive build.
Yeah,
we saw that a lot on Cloud Kingdom, for example, when it expansions builds going up against Blink builds. It was always fun to watch, exactly. But right now we have both of them actually going straight into the Stargate that you already mentioned would be a great choice on the map.
Yeah. Double Stargate. What?
And the cancel and the switch straight into the Twilight Council.
Okay. Because the Stargate got scouted by Stardust.
How much do you like these changes?
I don't like it at all.
Do you really think it's worth it to do that? And
no.
Especially not when you are the one who scouts, but you are the one that is scouted?
Ah, okay, that's the problem, right? San didn't scout. Yeah, I think that actually makes sense because he doesn't know what he's going up against. So if he goes for an Oracle, and Stardust knows that they're both in Stargate, he's of course going to start with Phoenixes, as he is. So if San opens with Oracle, he's going to be very far behind. If he opens with Phoenixes, and Stardust goes for... I mean, Stardust was already on Twilight, that sucks for him. So it's actually a smart switch. And Stardust is doing the Phoenixes now, and San actually going for Dark Shrine. And I didn't really expect that, and that's actually a pretty good idea, because if those Phoenixes are being kept back by Stardust, because it's too risky to use them to scout, because you could lose Phoenixes to the opponent's Phoenixes, he may never find out on time that there is Dark Shrine. And he's not making Robo part of his build yet, so in order for him to get info, he needs to do something inherently risky, moving into the enemy base with Phoenixes, which could be suicide against a defensive Phoenix player.
And the thing is that San already knows, in case that Stardust opened with a Stargate, he's not going to start with an Oracle, since he assumes it's going to be Stargate versus Stargate, and then he needs the Phoenixes instead of the Oracles. So it's actually a really smart move what he does here. A lot of mind games going into that build.
Yeah, but now he did see the... I think what Stardust did was almost too risky to describe. Flying in like that, if there were 3 Phoenix waiting there for him, he could just lose the game. But he did it anyway, and good for him, because he saw the Dark Shrine, and now he can start an Oracle.
Yeah, the Oracle back at home will then, of course, grant him the vision that he needs. And this time we have the pile lined up a little bit faster. San making a good move there. But still, DTs are not going to help him in this game. He actually cancelled the Dark Shrine.
Whoa.
Cuts his losses here, has been scouted, and decides to just go into Blink.
Such mind games, many wow.
Yeah, canceling his Stargate, going into a Twilight Council, going into a Dark Shrine, being scouted by the Phoenixes. This nearly suicidal move that you were describing earlier, at least a huge risk. But he sees the Dark Shrine and San decides, okay, this is never going to work.
What a sneaky snake, son. So what happens when the Phoenixes scout the spinning Twilight Council and see the Blink? Is he going to cancel it and go Robo and Colossus?
I don't know, I guess we're going to find out very soon. For now, it's just heading into an expand. He's a bit faster than Stardust is with his expansion, and here we have the robotics for him, which is something that Stardust, of course, Stardust actually is building it right now. Didn't he add one earlier already? I really thought I saw one on the production tab.
That was the Sans Robo. So this is the first Robo that Stardust is making yet.
But San doesn't have a Robo.
Then he cancelled it.
He cancelled that too.
Yeah, he had Dark Shrine Robo, and he cancelled it and made Stalkers and Blink. Right. Really, I wonder, if he had gone in again, would he cancel the Blink and go for carriers or something?
I would like to say this makes sense, but he's really getting a little bit ahead of me. Like, I can't follow anymore.
This is way too advanced for me.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't even think Stardust knows what's going on anymore. Where's his Oracle?
I agree.
It's like waiting for DTs that never came. Now he's getting an observer, playing it very, very safe here. But truly, what is the advantage here that San has from all that? Well, I guess that he's just in a normal position in the game. That's so funny.
Well, the Oracle that we have could actually just be used to do a bit of damage. San is still waiting for that Oracle, by the way. He has 2 Stalkers in his own main base.
Yeah.
There's, of course, also the Phoenixes that he wants to be active against, but there are only 2 so far. One was taken down, and that means can't do too much damage anyways. But still, the Oracle could come into play later on. Once that Stardust realizes it doesn't really need it for detection, he could just try to go in and do some damage with that.
After all those cancels, we have one of the most mirrored games yet, where they have equal supply, probe count, and everything, and even the upgrade on the Forge is equal. Very funny.
Hey, even the timing here, it's exactly the same for the double upgrades. The Immortal is the only thing that's a little bit different. It's faster for Stardust, that's it. But now it started for San as well. Robo switch happening currently.
Okay, so we see a Colossus build here for Stardust. San looks like he will go with the Immortal plus Colossus.
Oracle is moving in actually, and if San at some point moves those Stalkers away, his mineral line is going to be very much exposed. You have Stardust hiding the Oracle all the way to the top left of the map.
This couldn't be further away from anything. Full energy already.
Yeah, he needs to be careful that he doesn't forget about it.
Yeah. Alright, let's see. Colossus for both. Twilight Council being added for Stardust as well. And he will lose another Phoenix here.
Yeah.
He's trying to pull the Stalkers to the natural, or what exactly?
I actually don't know. Like, we still have the Stalkers in the main base, and I don't think he really knows about that. I feel he saw them earlier, but he doesn't know that they are still there. The problem is once he shows... Okay, he confirms with the Observer, and that makes sense, because once that he shows the Oracle, then San is definitely going to be aware that it will be a constant threat to his economy, and is not going to move in. But once that San moves those Stalkers away, because he maybe forgets that there is an Oracle, maybe he didn't even see it,
yeah,
then
did he see it? I'm wondering.
I don't think so.
It makes sense,
He
though.
might have.
Think about it, Calder. I guess the double Phoenix from the opponent, you show Dark Shrine. He's got to start an Oracle, right? Probably. If he didn't already have a Robo, so I don't know.
If he doesn't keep it in the back of his head, then at some point we really might lose a lot of Harvesters if that Oracle moves in at the main base. But I mean, for now it doesn't really play a huge role. It's always there to the top left. We have, on the other hand, already the Colossi production started for both of them. The range upgrade is only started for San so far, not for Stardust, who has a better Colossus count on the other hand.
Okay, so choosing to get more Colossus first.
Well, not quite sure what that's going to accomplish.
You shall
Delaying
not.
a base maybe a little bit, but that's it. Okay, he really doesn't like the probe.
No Nexus for you. Never. Okay, at least not for the next 15 seconds. Does he have more in him? Yeah,
no.
he could have, but he didn't want to. He just wanted to delay it for exactly 20 seconds, not 30.
2 was the limit. Then it's like, okay, this is not fun anymore. Third base going up for Stardust right now. In the main base, still the one Observer, just having a look if there are still Stalkers, and yes, they are still there. That Scout is not going to accomplish anything. Double Templar Archive is now being produced. Well, one for each of them.
They did say they're rooming together, so they have a lot of similar opinions here about the game. trying to roughly do everything similar.
They especially agree on the amount of units that you need. There comes the Oracle, moving in right now. And the Stalkers are gone.
Just like you said, he might forget about it. It's a very stressful thing to keep trying to keep that in the back of your mind. There we go. 1 probe, 2, 3 probes, 4, 5, 6.
That's a lot of damage done here already.
Just 5, 5.5.
What did it take?
We'll round it down to 5.
What just happened?
Yeah, he feedbacked it.
Okay, the High Templar. I didn't even see the High Templar. I just saw the Oracle disappear and was like, what?
He just snapped his finger.
There are no Widow Mines here.
He snapped his finger and it evaporated. I think this Nexus could go down before a reaction.
I'm pretty sure it will. And that puts us once again in a very similar position for both players. San with a bit of an army supply lead with 93 against 71. And that's actually pretty strong here, especially since, let me double check. Yeah, he's the one with the range upgrade.
Yes.
Stardust didn't get that just yet. He's about to complete it. But yeah, it's not going to play a role here. San is not moving in fast enough.
San also has Blink. And even though Stalkers aren't as good in these big fights, he's got 3 more than what Stardust has. He's got Blink, and it provides some utility. He's also got double the amount of Zealots.
And has a little bit of a lead in the Colossi count here. Photon Overcharge coming into play. San is moving in at that natural. Everything is clumped up for Stardust. A bit better of a position for San right now, but Stardust is getting his units into the game once again and starting to really equalize the score on army supply. San still a bit of a lead, but he doesn't want to fight into the range of the Photon Overcharge. It just gives him opponent a bit of an edge there.
A little bit of a Colossus scout there. See exactly how many Colossus the opponent has. He counted 4. So that's dangerous to move into. A 5th one is joining the fray now. And in the midst of all this, Stardust has been working on his +3. No third Nexus from San either, so it's a little risky for him to let the game drag on. But attacking here seems risky as well. He went in there once and he didn't like what he saw. He's going to try again.
Going for it again, exactly. Laser beams everywhere, and the Zealots are the first victims melting away. We have Stardust taking a bit of an overall supply, but it's the army supply that really matters here, and San has a slight edge over his opponent, but it looks like Stardust is able to push him back here. He currently has the better Colossi count. It's 5 versus 3, and that's really all that matters here for now.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes in big PvP fights. If everything is roughly similar, even if you have more Zealots and Stalkers, it's the Colossus count that matters the most. And with 5 against 3, Stardust defense is impeccable.
Well, San tries to go in once again, and that meat shield that we saw earlier for Stardust is gone. He has still the better Colossus count, but we had a couple of Immortals there at the front doing damage against Stardust Colossi. Both of them now down to 80 supply. The +3 attack upgrade not ready for Stardust just yet. Doesn't give him the edge, but we have Stalkers in the main base starting to snipe a lot of the Harvesters. Probe kills so far, 14 by Stardust, 24 by San.
Wow.
Just looking at the army supply, we still have San with a slight lead, but it's the Colossus count that is still in favor of Stardust.
+3 is about to finish for Stardust, and it looked like he was doing very well in this game. But these 4 Stalkers, they did a really good job for San. Killed a lot of the economy. 31 probes left for Stardust, and 46 still for San. But the main base is about to run out anyway for San, so it's not like he's mining that much more.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter in terms of saturation and mining, or at least he shouldn't. We have San currently looking at 1,000 minerals per income. Stardust actually at only 70. I thought it would be a little more equal than that. Maybe has too many of the harvesters in the main base right now. But at the same time,
a lot of Zealots got torched there from San immediately. Stardust with that double Archon and Colossus action, toasting them. And now he's chasing San in hot pursuit.
Yeah, San is moving back, and Stardust is the one who really has the significant lead in army supply suddenly. 35 against 25, 4 Colossi against 3, and he also has this Archon at the front that is doing such a great job against the Zealots. So Stardust really having a little bit of an edge in the army supply, but it's just the Harvesters that are a bit, it's a bit iffy for him. Just he doesn't have the same amount of income here.
Yeah, for now we have 20% more mineral income for San. But so long as Stardust has the upgrade advantage with +3 against +2, he might just be able to make up for that.
Well, with the situation that we have in the bases, I feel that it's going to change very, very soon, because currently we have San already oversaturating his third base a little bit. Sorry, his natural a little bit. And once the mineral patches in the main base are gone, that's just going to increase. So the income is going to be equalized very soon here.
Yeah, and it will take a long time to catch up in that attack upgrade. Colossus numbers, 3 for San and 4 for Stardust. There's 1 coming in for San. So we're in this really low economic situation where both players aren't sure if they can actually afford 400 minerals. soon they're going to be mining something like 700 minerals per minute. That means 38 seconds worth of income. They're going to spend it on a Nexus. Are you sure you can justify that? That's a full round of warpins. So it's difficult to
Stardust right
justify.
now is in a much better position. I mean, he doesn't probably know about how good his position is, since he doesn't see what we see here on the map. But it's like he has a lead in army supply. He has the better upgrades. He's looking at 82 army supply against 71 because of the lower worker count. He has the +3 attack upgrade. And in terms of the Colossi numbers, he's still on an even amount with his opponent, but he has more than twice the amount of Archons. So his position is actually great in the game right now. With the damage output that he has, he should be able to take down Sun's army if it comes to that.
But I like what he's doing here. He's just going around the map, taking small advantages, removing options for Sun to counter-attack. Killed a few pylons. There's one more on the right, but of course he doesn't know where that is. Looking ready to take an expand. Oh, no. That was a probe from Sun, actually. Excuse me about that. Stardust is sharking around the map and looking to maybe leverage his upgrade advantage before it's too late.
We don't even see his opponent start the +3 attack upgrade, so I don't think this is going to ever come into play here, since they are playing on very low economy now.
You know what really matters now at this point more than anything? It's like army positioning. Everything is roughly similar. They have small advantages in one area or another. One thing you can't do here is lose your patience. You've got to be very, very careful.
Well, Stardust, for now, Sun is really just staying back at home. He wants Stardust to push into him so that he can set up the better position. You're definitely right about that. And he's actually working on the rocks here all the way back to the top right. Wants to maybe take another base there. He's also increasing his Colossi count. It's currently 6 versus 5 in his favor, and he's getting a 7th. Whereas Stardust doesn't get any additional Colossi. He's sticking it out with 5 and is just investing into more Archons.
Yeah,
and of course
and
Zealots. 25 against 15.
I like getting more Colossus more than Zealots and Archons. I think 5 Archons is fine. You don't really need 8. Colossi can... Oh my god, what is going to happen? I've never seen a fight here in PvP with Colossus on the high ground like that. That's a bit ridiculous.
That would look really scary. If you move
it's
down
like one
there,
of those arcade maps where you have to run and everything shoots at you, or like an Indiana Jones movie.
I really feel that Stardust, if he doesn't take a base, needs to attack. Because San is now getting that base, he has the better Colossi count, and I feel Stardust is waiting too long here.
Yep, San is 2 Colossus ahead, and it doesn't matter how many Zealots you have, when there's a combination of 4 or more Archons and 8 or more Colossus, any Zealots you have are going to get instant fried quicker than a pack of instant noodles.
It's all about the laser beams.
All about the laser beams. And especially when you're the aggressor, you may not have fewer Colossus than the opponent.
Well, there comes the expansion now for Stardust. Maybe a little bit too late, but he is still in the lead in overall army supply. Let's have a quick look at those Colossi numbers. It's currently 6 versus 8 in favor of Sun. He still has the better Harvester count, and that's going to come into play once the 3rd base is being saturated, which is the case right now. So the more time passes, Sun will have a good spot here.
What?
Oh, there comes a time warp, taking down 1 Colossus maybe. No, not quite.
So nothing really happened. Everyone got burnt a little bit.
Well, the position is good for Stardust to take down the 3rd base.
Yep.
That's, I guess, what he could accomplish with this move.
Uh-oh.
Run, Forest, run. The Colossus just barely getting away. Are we going to see a recall here?
Whoa, is he going to really fight here?
Oh, that looks like he's a bit suicidal with that. I don't know, but at this point, all of the Zealots are already gone. It's about the Archons
at the
from the
bottom
right
as
now.
well.
There come a few additional units in. That 1 Archon is being toasted, but that allows actually Stardust to get a lot of his damage out there. We have a lot of the armies just clumped up, and Stardust is losing so much within seconds just because he doesn't have the Colossi number.
Yeah, and he couldn't reinforce. I mean, he reinforced from the bottom, I guess. So
laser beams for the win.
Yep.
Well, Sun right now looking at 4 Colossi against 0, against 1 back at home, I guess. And it's just only Colossi, they have nothing else. And it's time to pull probes, I guess.
There was such a gutsy move in there by Stardust, and then to actually take that fight. I guess he didn't have energy to recall out anymore because he used the time warp there on the high ramp, but what a crazy place to fight. And I mean, it's always hard to tell who was going to win. I didn't know what was going to happen. But San with the superior Colossus count managed to do it.
Well, it's still 2 base versus 2 base. We saw a cancel on that 3rd base, and regarding the income, I don't think there's a huge difference. Stardust having a little bit. It's actually very, very even at this point.
They mined out everything. from the natural. Like there's no income left for them except long distance mining and those 2 little patches.
If San knew what we know, he would just move in and end the game
He
now.
would just go.
Yes, 4 Colossi against 1. The Arcan numbers is the same. The only advantage Stardust has is a single Zealot in the Mothership core. That's not gonna fly.
Well, there's only 1 anti-air unit for San. If the Mothership core can beat the Archon, well, 2 Archons now. Yeah, if he can kill both Archons.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. GG and San with a 2-0 lead versus Stardust.
Wow.